This is Friday, May 29th, and I'm in my kitchen this morning. And I got a couple things going here. You can hear my bread making. Got trying mini chocolate chip bagels this morning. Usually I just do the plain ones and top them with cheese or everything bagel seasoning. But I just decided for a change today, I'm going to try adding some mini chocolate chips. So the other thing that I am doing now is making up some individual fruit and yogurt parfaits. Like to have these in the refrigerator. So I can just pull them out for either a breakfast or a healthy snack. So we got those two things going this morning. Okay, so this is what the dough looks like when the bread maker is finished kneading it. It has risen once. So now I'm going to dump this out on my counter, floured lightly. And then I'm going to show you how I divide it up. And first I'm going to make it into about 12 rounds of dough, and then from there take each round and put a hole in it to make it bagel-like, and then put them on my cookie sheets. And while they rise for a few minutes, I will get my oven heating to 425 and also put a big pot of water on to boil. So let me get onto that. Let's get this dough out onto the counter. Get my camera adjusted here a little bit. So get some flour over the top. It's a little bit sticky. Chocolate chips kind of swirled in there in some places. I might have added them a little bit too soon so that they got worked really a lot, but we'll see how it goes. This is an experiment. So I just kind of take this little thing, and I don't weigh my dough balls because, hey, I'm not doing this as a business, and they don't all have to be exactly the same. That one looks a little big though. So just kind of estimate here. Yeah, my chocolate chips are kind of mushy. So I guess I will have chocolate swirl bagels. So let me see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Here's 9, 10, 11. Put a little bit more with this one. And then we're good. All right, so let's do a little flour over them all, and a little floured part here, a little flour on my hands too, and then just pick one up, and this is how I form them into a nice ball. Make sure the bottom's kind of closed up, and then I'll set it back here while I do the others. So, you know, I'm not a professional bagel maker. I don't know if my technique is perfect or correct, but you know what? It works for me, and they make good bagels. So now I'm putting a little flour down each time after I roll it into a ball, so that when I pick it up, it's not sticking to the counter. So we're going to do this with all 12 of these, and then we'll come back. Okay, so I'm over here by my stove now. My pot of water, let me see if you can see that, is beginning to boil, which is what I was waiting for. I got my bagels over here on their cookie sheets, and what I'm going to do now is take a couple of them and drop them into my pot. See if I can get my camera to stay down there. sort of, kind of. All right, we'll go with that. So one at a time, I just pick them up, drop them in the water. I think I will do maybe 4 at a time. I do either 3 or 4, and then I'm going to start my timer. And basically, I try to do a 1.5 minute boil on each side. So sometimes I adjust the temperature here of the water, because once you put the bagels in, that slows down the boiling a little bit. And so I want to try to keep a boil, but I don't want it to boil over, which I've had happen. And so this is what I use, just a wooden spoon. I kind of make sure that there's an opening in the center of each when I put them in there. So 4 might be a little crowded with the size that these are, but we're going to go with it. I'm going to turn that temperature down a little bit. Kind of boiling like crazy. All right. So I'm kind of curious to see what the chocolate chips do in this boil. I don't know if they're totally just going to melt and I'll have no chocolate chips, just swirls. Like I said, I haven't done chocolate chip before, so this is an experiment. I do feel like they're a little crowded in here, so I think next time I'll do just 3, because on the cookie sheets themselves they get a little puffy, but when you put them in the water then they do another rise. So I'm going to maybe just start flipping these. So this is why I use, oops, sometimes you can't get them over on your first try. There we go. And now I'm going to set my timer and let them boil again, get the heat up a little bit. You see the boil came down a little bit. So they're very swirly here with chocolate chips. Yes, we'll call these chocolate chip swirl bagels. All right, I'm going to just let that go for a minute until I take out the first group. Then I'll just repeat that process until all my bagels have had a boil. Oh, boil's coming up again, so I'm going to adjust that there a little bit. It is not fun when your water boils over onto your stove. So that's when I wish I had a gas stove, because I would be able to control the temperature so much better. But not going to happen in this life, I don't think, so we'll work with what we've got. All right, so about 30 more seconds left on the boil. I wanted to mention too that along with that bagel, high gluten flour that I get from King Arthur flour that I showed you, the recipe calls for 4 cups. I actually do 3 cups of that, and then about 3/4 of a cup of whole wheat flour, just regular whole wheat flour, because I like to get a little whole wheat in there. So just thought I should mention that as well. All right, we're going to go ahead and get these beautiful bagels out and onto the cookie sheet. Almost lost that guy. Make room over here. All right. So this time I'm going to do just 3 so they have a little more room. Okay, so we'll let those go there, and then I'll get back to you in a couple minutes. Okay, so here's my camera down here. So while my last 2 bagels are boiling in the pot, I'm going to show you a final step that I'm going to do on these bagels before they go in the oven. So normally I make just a plain bagel, and then I top half of them with cheese and half of them with an everything bagel topping, because that's what I actually love on my bagels. So I don't think cheese on a chocolate chip bagel really would taste that good. But because I love my everything bagel topping, I am going to top some of them with that. And so what I'll do is brush on an egg wash and then sprinkle on some of that topping. So that's what's coming up next. Let me get these flipped that are in the pot. right, so here is my egg wash. Just going to brush it on the top of the bagels. I might actually brush all of them with this, even the ones that don't get a topping. Usually the egg wash is what helps the topping stick to the bagels. But you know what, I'll probably just brush them all and see kind of like what effect that has on the ones that don't have a topping. All right, this is my everything bagel seasoning. This one actually comes from King Arthur flour, but I found it at Trader Joe's. I've even found it at Aldi now, so that's awesome. And I've also made my own. You can find a recipe for that. So this is very cost effective when you can find it at other local stores, and also just make your own too. All right, got about 20 more seconds on the last two bagels. So let me turn off the heat, get them out, and then these are gonna, whoa, I never had that happen before. These are gonna go in the oven for 20 minutes at 400 to 425 degrees. So, my friends, here are our bagels fresh out of the oven. So you see that once they go into the oven, they really don't rise anymore. The rising happens in that pot of boiling water. But the baking browns them and finishes off the baking process. So I'm going to move these onto a cooling rack, and then they are finished. So you see, the mystery of how to make bagels is really not a mystery anymore, and it's really something doable by anybody that wants to give it a try.